Hi, my name is Sam Price, the Crypto Lifer, and I've been analyzing markets around the world for a long time. Toronto Stock Exchange, New York Stock Exchange, cryptocurrency markets, you name it. And today I want to break down Bitcoin, Total 3, Bitcoin dominance, Tether dominance, the DXY, the S&P futures, the NASDAQ futures, and more. If you are ready for a full-blown macro analysis, then I'm ready to give it to you. Let's break it down. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about Bitty Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin having a big, nice pump to the upside, and everyone's wondering, are we getting a pullback? You know, I have talked about the fact that when you're away from the 21, we could be getting a pullback. You know, something like this back to the 21-day moving average. You could pull a fib and look, you know, do you come back down to the 618, the 0.5? Do we revisit these areas? You know, normally when you get a massive dump like that, it continues to pull back. The fact that we got bought up so hard and so fast tells me there's just so much pressure the other way, buy pressure for Bitcoin. So what I do is, yes, we are away. And what I did is with my trading group last time, I even went and I revisited this area here, which I'm going to do for you guys too. I'm a nice guy like that, right? And look, just look at this. The last time we were this far away, you say, well, we have to come to the 21, but we would just kind of slightly go, and then we would go on another massive move to the upside. These two wicks and this pressure with the high stochastics on the weekly, and even a little bit of kind of bearish div in a way there, as that flips really high and that doesn't, you know, it's showing signs that, you know, that should have gotten a pullback, and it didn't. We had so much pressure that we eventually got just a massive continuation to the upside. This looks like the next three legs is coming for Bitcoin, something similar in my humble opinion. And again, just because it happened in the past doesn't mean it happens in the future, and we really, you know, in 2 days and 7 hours, this weekly candle will close. And all you really need to know is as long as the weekly candle stays above 97,200, we're good to go, right? You can see like we close 1, 2, 3, and this will be the fourth weekly candle above 97.2. So I'm super excited for that. I want to get it right there. Not a big deal because, you know, the timing is of this stream. And I get it right there, 97,200, right? Bitcoin ripping right now, 101,584, and getting the punch to the upside. Beautiful move here for BTC. So, you know, and what happens when you're very bullish is you'll trend to the upside. And the weekly looks like it's going to rip. So we really need the 3-day chart at this point. And the 3-day chart has a bullish engulfing candle, right? And to me, it's breaking out right now as we speak. And I talked about this today with my trading group. I said, this looks like the breakout of the bigger, this looks like the big breakout is happening today. I said, I believe we're good on the daily to get in here and just let it rip. And so far, so good. That's what's happening here for Bitcoin, and it's really starting to take over. 101,560, like we're getting a nice pump right now. I gave a short-term trade to the trading group that's actually ripping as we speak. So I see this beginning its next move. It looks like when I get back in 7 days from now to do our macro analysis, and today's Friday the 13th, which is crazy, you know. But when I get back on the 20th, and it will be, you know, it'll be 2.5 candles basically on the 3-day chart. I wouldn't be surprised if we have two big green candles, and we're somewhere right up in here in the $110,000, $117,000 level. So it looks like we're going to be somewhere up in here when I come back next week, and Bitcoin's going to continue to the upside. That is a breakout right now on the 3-day chart, and I see a continuation all the way to $134,000, and it says we get there by Friday, January 10th. That would be unbelievable, right? So that's Bitcoin in a nutshell. Let's take a look at the total market cap and all of cryptocurrency and see what we see happening for the total market cap. So the total market cap on the 3-day chart and the weekly, these macro time frames, I don't want to get too small for you. I want to show you the bigger moves here. And you can see this is headed all the way back up to 4.38 trillion. We had a little bit of a problems at 3.33 trillion, and then we kind of started to consolidate. And so I have to go a little deep into the 4-hour just to kind of show you the details here. But I'd like to see, you know, that you can see the shoulder, head, right shoulder. We're getting tight. It looks like, you know, the total market cap is going to come up here, get slightly tight, go up and down, up and down. We're going to get more accumulation, more money, and then it's just going to be a FOMO, and people are going to be running in. And I see a massive leg up, and that's going to run up until possibly the end of January, where things just get out of control, and we go to $4.72 trillion. So it says, yeah, this is going to be, you know, on its breaking out point or about to break out when I come here next week on the 20th. It could be, and it could even be a tighter channel, something like this. But it tells me that this will be tighter. We should be on our way to a bigger breakout when I show up next week on the macro analysis. Let's take a look at Total 3. and take a look at what's happening to the altcoins. These are all the altcoins. Same shoulder, head, right shoulder in there, right? We made this kind of conceptualized. I call this the twisted sister. We're not sure which way it's going to go, so we make two ideas. And just when you look at this here, you know, it looks like we're making something like this. And that's a consolidation too as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we even kind of pump out of this and we're just really, really tight like this. And that's a cup and handle right there. So it looks to me like this weekend, this cup and handle is going to rip to the upside. And the altcoins are about to explode. Total 3 is the entire market cap of the altcoins, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it kind of tells you what's going to happen to the alts without Bitcoin and ETH. And it says we're about to go on a tear. Once the alts break back above 1.13 trillion, the bigger leg takes over. So I just see like this consolidative move here. And then, man, that's its leg up. And it says the alts are going to go on a massive rally up to $1.7 trillion. And the altcoins are now $1 trillion asset class, like altogether. This is awesome. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance, because if Bitcoin dominance continues to fall this weekend, it tells us we could get an altcoin rally. So we want to see that Bitcoin dominance is struggling. So we saw this Adam and Eve for Bitcoin dominance, suggesting that it could rip. And it did. It did rip to the upside. Let's kind of see what happens now. Now we have tight moving averages after you fell out of this falling wedge to the downside for Bitcoin dominance, right? Now it's showing signs that it wants to rip to the upside, but I see this. I see a bear flag. So I see maybe Bitcoin runs up. We get that pump for Bitcoin in the next few days, and then altcoins take over again, and then dominance starts to slip. And then we get this dump in dominance that creates a massive move in altcoins. So maybe a little bit of move here, a couple days, and then boom, and then bang. We get altcoin season again out of this bear flag to the downside. It says, you know, by the 20th of December, it'll be somewhere here. We should be a little more into altcoin season. And this should be somewhere like we should be dumping already down through this channel to the downside. So that's what I see there for Bitcoin dominance. Let's take a look at Tether dominance. Tether dominance should also be falling off a cliff and just wanting to dive down. The same concepts here, right? So there was a chance that Tether dominance was going to get a bit of a bounce. Let's take a look at it here on like the daily and the weekly chart. So last time I talked about it, I said it's losing the weekly 200 MA and it's going to fall, and it did that. And we've had multiple weeks now of all season. And it attempted to put in a double bottom, but I felt like it almost lost that. And see, now you're below, and that's now resistance. We want to see that continue. We want to see this kind of stay down here and see more downside. Let's take a look at the 3-day chart. The 3-day chart's starting to make that bear flag. And so we really want to see this bear flag continue, even maybe a bit of a descending triangle, right? Connect to the 21 and then let go. And it looks like that's what we're going to see. And then bang, you know, Bitcoin dominance, let's go. US Tether dominance, let's go. And alt season just takes a tear. And we just absolutely rip to the upside. So that's just something to think about. It looks good to me. I like what I'm seeing there for Tether dominance. I like to look at the DXY just to see what's happening with the dollar, see if it's strong. And honestly, Trump has a strong dollar. And, you know, he's been battling BRICS and doing his thing and tariffs and all that. And that's been showing strength. The dollar actually seems to be pumping with Bitcoin. Today, we might actually, you know, into next week, we might get the dollar pumping and Bitcoin pumping. But this says the dollar is going to pump. It will have some resistance at 104.4. But it does suggest by next week, and when I do my top down and my macro analysis next week, like the dollar may have broken through this and continued to break up. But right now, the dollar looks strong. And it is breaking out like we basically went over last week to the upside. So the DXY, taking back some strength here. You'd love to see it double top there and break down, but, you know, a little strength for the DXY. Bitcoin has been pumping with the dollar, so it's not the worst thing in the world. And as long as Bitcoin dominance gives back to the altcoins, they're going to be okay. But yeah, just, you know, the DXY definitely is taking a bit of strength back. I love looking at gold. You know, gold started to lose some dominance against Bitcoin, it looked like. There was a big drop when Bitcoin was ripping and seemed like gold. But now gold's back inside this tight channel. It's consolidating nicely. I see gold ripping out of this flag, right? And only a matter of time, but I see a pump here. And the next move for gold is to head all the way up to the bigger target. That's a long target, $3,700 for gold by May of 2025. I don't know if it goes on that much of a tear, but it definitely looks like it'll be somewhere by, you know, over 3,000 and, you know, 3,400 somewhere maybe by March or April. So gold looking very bullish. And that suggests that, you know, I guess the dollar would have to hit that double top, you know. So gold looking very bullish right now as far as I'm concerned as well. Now let's take a look at the S&P. I've had a call for the S&P, and it's been going for a while, and I don't want to shy away from it. I want to show up every week and show you, my calls, so you can see that I'm a man of my word, a man of what I talk about. Right there, I talked about getting into the S&P around $5,800 and said it was going to rip up to $6,700, $6,800. So far, that's stone cold. Everything's going well. We reset the stochastics without losing support and resistance. We're holding strong above the $6,000 support. And I see this next week just starting a huge move out of this rising wedge to the upside and beginning its big move. And anything could happen. Maybe it dumps. You never know. I'm open-minded. But right now, the TA's playing out perfectly. Tight moving averages, above high volume nodes, low stochastics. This says next week the S&P continues its continuous barrage of pumping to the upside. And let's take a look at the NASDAQ E-mini futures. Same thing on the NASDAQ. I talked about watching how this would bounce off the retest. It did that. Beautiful call for the NASDAQ that I gave. I also got this idea to get into the NASDAQ right there at 20,009, 20,008. That's pumping to the upside. I called the NASDAQ back down here too, so these have been long-term calls. I see the NASDAQ breaking out and continuing to pump. Looks like we're going to get a massive rally somewhere into January. I guess in the next, it looks like it's going to start maybe today and the next few weeks. Bitcoin pumping very hard right now at 101,570. We are in massive gains in the trading group if you took any of my calls. And last thing I want to look at is SOLBTC, because Sol Bitcoin, I feel like Sol is eventually going to beat up on Bitcoin. Right now, Sol lost a bit of dominance. Look for it to try to get back inside that pattern here, all right? And to me, it's just chop, up and down chop. But once Sol really gets that bigger move and Bitcoin finally... See, SOLBTC is really going to tell us when alt season is in full blown. When this gets to the height, that's when we probably should be selling some of our altcoins. Bitcoin's finally going to rip, then it's going to get back some dip, and then Sol's going to go on a tear, and Bitcoin's not. And that's how we can tell that there's going to be this big move. It's only a matter of time. SOLBTC, in my humble opinion, will make 123% gains against Bitcoin. This is a good conceptual chart to watch when you want to look at when alt season is going to begin, or when you're in the thick of alt season. All right? Everybody, I hope you love this macro top-down analysis. I do it every single Friday, tirelessly for you and for me, so I can get a big idea of what's happening on the bigger time frames. The macro, baby, the macro. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when I post my next video. I do pre-recorded videos as well as my live stream, although my live streams are more popular, but I do pre-recorded videos. Thank you for all the support you've given me. Thank you for all the comments, likes. Thank you for coming to my live streams. Everybody, I greatly appreciate it. We're now becoming one of the biggest live streams in cryptocurrency. God bless you all. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys on the next video. And remember, crypto is life.